Alright guys, we're taking a look at the oiler on this MS170. And one thing I noticed is there was a lot of oil coming out of this hole here. And what that hole is, in case you don't know, that's where the oiler hose attaches, because it's pulling oil from the tank on this side. So the hose is right there. It kind of crosses over to this spot, and the hose pushes down into there and locks up underneath a piece of plastic, which is actually that hole there. If you take a good look inside of there, you can see that it's not locked in very well, and you can start seeing the part of that hose that pushes down into the hole. And I have a few of these that I keep on hand in one of my handy dandy boxes for the 017/MS170. And there it is. Okay. So this side of the hose comes from the oil tank, and that's where it crosses over the bottom. That's where it crosses over from here to over here. Alright. Now the part you can see in that little hole over on this side of the saw is this part here. And when you push that in the hole, you have to take and shove the edge of this up under there, and that's what holds it in place and keeps it sealed all the time. Pull it out and put a new one on, because that may have just shrunk and allowing seepage now. And that seepage would explain why sometimes we're getting oil from the oil port on the side here, feeding the bar, and sometimes we're not. So that's my theory so far. So it is a little bit of a pain. It is much easier to take this handlebar assembly off, but you can cheat it a little bit. And, it's been a little while since I've done it. It's probably been a year or two. You can pull your caps out. Come on out of here. Ow, that's my finger. It does not want to let go of this, does it? There we go. Alright. So basically these little grommet caps, or whatever you want to call them, do is they, once your rubber is through the handle, you shove that in there and it expands the rubber out to help bite onto the handle, and that's what holds it in there for you. There's 3 of them. Of course, we got to take the intake back off again. But I'll take this. All right. I got to get in here. You pop your rubbers out. Apply pressure to them. They'll pull right through. So you got one there, you got one here, and you have one there. Lift up on that one. We'll pop it out of there. And this one, put it right on there and do the same thing. Apply some pressure, it'll pop it out of there. Yep. Find a place to get the screwdriver in there. There we go. There. And I can just take it. slide that apart like so. All right. While you got it off, clean it. Don't put it back on there all nasty. Now we got good access to this little hose here. And that hose kind of feels stiff. So it's probably shrunk. It probably needs to be replaced anyway. And so we're gonna install this new hose, which is a bit more flexible than that one there is. That one there is starting to get stiff. So let me show you how to take care of that. And let me check, make sure I emptied it, and I think I did. It's been a couple days. Yep, it's empty. So basically all I'm going to do is just get in here with a screwdriver and pop this free, because this piece here, it actually slips up underneath the plastic. All right, and that's the part that feeds the pump itself. You look down in there, the pump is actually sitting right there. Then we're going to get up on this side here, and we're going to do the same thing. We'll grab a hold of that flange with the screwdriver. We're going to try to work it out and get it popped out of there. And use our other hand to kind of put some tension on it. And there we go, we got it popped out. So that side is also keyed. And then you'll slide it through there, and you'll have to work it a little bit to get that filter to pop through the hole on the tank. And there we go. And what you're going to do is transfer that filter over. Make sure your surface area is clean. So my theory is that I don't feel that the pump there's anything wrong with the pump. I just feel that it is has lost its seal around here that feeds the pump, and because of that, we're not getting the oil flow that we should be getting, and sometimes no flow at all. All right, now this here, it's leaking for one, but the reason why I need to replace it, and the reason that I explained to the customer is that I can't tune this carburetor in the wood, right, if the chain and bar is not getting the oil cut that it needs, because now if anybody runs saws, they know that over time, in a short period of time, and you don't have oil with your bar and chain, things start to get tight and the saw starts to struggle. And so I can't tune the carburetor if that's happening to me. So we need to get this oiling properly so I don't have any issues with the bar and chain trying to tune it. All right, so there we go. Now, you see that flange here? That straight edge on that flange and how the rest of it's rounded? That straight edge of that flange needs to face up. All right? Well, when I say up, it's because I have the saw this way, but it needs to be pointing to the bottom of the saw here. All right? And it needs to be tucked up under the saw body here. All right, so we're going to fish this filter through the hole here in the oil tank. There we go. And then we're going to get it needs to turn that way. I installed one time and it was trying to go that way, and it didn't work out too good. So you're going to have to get it to turn towards the front of the saw where the muffler is. That's the way you need it to turn. Come on now. Make that turn. I need you to make that turn. Don't be stubborn. use whatever you got to try to get that manipulated around and to go the way you need it to go. See, it went that way. I don't need it to go that way. I need it to go this way. There we go. I got it. There we go. So as you can see, it can be a little bit of a pain. Like I said before, now you got to tuck that rubber, the straight edge of the rubber, you got to tuck that up underneath the body. Make sure that's tucked up under there. And then shove that grommet part into the tank. And that part of it will be together and sealed. Keeping in mind that this needs to be oriented so that that straight edge of that hose is like this. It can't be like this or like this. And I already know it's slightly tilted because the whole thing is tilted. So now we got to get it to turn a little bit. And there we go. Now what I usually do while trying to keep everything clean, let's see how this fits in there. I've had, well, you can look down in that hole right there to see if you're if everything's seated properly, and I believe it is. Now what I have had to do in the past, and it worked, is take some black RTV and put it around this part, right? And then shove it in the hole with a little bit of pressure on it for an hour or so, and let that cure, because the hole there that it goes into has gotten sloppy over the years. This one seems to fit fine. All right, so hopefully we have resolved that issue. And let's see if I can cheat the system a little bit. Get some oil back in this thing and start it up the way it is. Filter is sticking through here like it should be. If you happen to look in there and you don't see that filter and hose sticking through there, then you know it didn't go in the right direction, and you'd have to take it out and do it over again. Alright, we're pumping. See the pile of oil right there, and dripped all down through here and dripping down through there now. So we're pumping. Hopefully you like the content. If so, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, send me some comments, let me know what you think. Be kind and help people when you can.